Well, hello everyone. As I'm sideways, there we go. Hi everybody. How's it going? I hope you're all doing great out there. Let's see here. Marianne is here, says mid-afternoon greetings. Thank you for joining us. Suzanne says good afternoon. Suzanne's in a happy mood, got books and a haircut today, watching Storm in the Gulf, however. Well, books and a haircut are always a good thing, right? Then we'll focus on that, right? I know there are things going on down there. Trying to focus on the good things, right? I know there are things, sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's very hard, and there are a lot of people going through a lot of things. But, I'm realizing that if we make ourselves worked up over things we can't help, right? And we can't send the good energy, and we can't send the good vibes, and we can't send the good prayers if we're all worked up about the bad things. So I'm trying to learn that myself, because it's not easy and it feels very selfish in a lot of ways. But it's one of those things. I've been listening to a lot of these meditation tapes and meditation videos. There, I just dated myself, right? Videos and manifestation videos, and there's one that talks about sometimes we have a lot of empathy for others, and I definitely feel that in myself a lot of times. I take on a lot of things, a lot of heartache, a lot of pain, a lot of trauma from other people. I'm very empathic, I think, that way. And one of them rung a chord with me, talking about how you can never be sick enough to help the sick. You can never be poor enough to help the poor. You can never be in danger enough to help those in danger. Those kind of things, it really made me think about that, because when I'm around people who aren't doing well, whether it's through sickness or lifestyle, or and I grew up like that. My dad had issues with alcohol and drugs, and I had my own issues, excuse me, growing up. It very much makes me want to put myself kind of in their place and understand where they are. And I think to a point that's good. But there's also a point that you can put yourself there and not be of any assistance to anybody. And so I'm trying to learn that, and I'm trying to, keep myself in a more balanced state, which is very difficult with my anxiety and my depression that I have and things like that. So, but I'm trying very hard to, meditate in the evenings before I go to bed. And if I have a moment during the day, like I had a moment just before this live, and I kind of sat down and kind of breathed a little bit, do some breath work, and just trying to, because there's a lot going on in the world, and there's a lot that could affect many people. But there's also a lot of people fighting and pushing back so that those things do not affect a lot of people. And where our energy flows, whether we want to concentrate on, the things that could go wrong, or we want to concentrate on the things that could go right, it's very hard for me to try to think about the good things when bad things are happening. I'm very much, I come from a long line of people who are empathetic, and people who really, try to help with the struggle. And I'm trying to, it's gotten me to a point in life, but I also do believe, and as I watch people who I'm very close to, who change their mindset a little bit in these different ways, and I see them succeeding and helping more people, I'm kind of coming around to the fact that it's probably best if I put my energy toward the good side. And that doesn't mean necessarily ignoring the bad, although sometimes that's what you need for self-preservation, I think. But focusing on the good, I think, is what brings the good. And so that's what I'm trying. And I know that's so hard, and it feels so selfish sometimes. But sometimes we have to be that way to affect more change and better change, I think, anyway. Susie's here. Danette is here. Hello, Danette. Thank you for joining us. Let's see here. Julie is here. Suzanne says, yes, indeed. Right on, William. Dennis is very hard to focus on good right now. My uncle, my godfather, was diagnosed with an aggressive form of pancreatic cancer, 2 different types of cancer. I'm sorry to hear that. That's very, very, very difficult. His night last Wednesday, my heart is broken. My mom's heart is, I bet. And says, just taking it one day at a time. That's all you can do, right? Sometimes these things hit close. And there's not a lot that you can do when they hit so close, right? When my grandmother was diagnosed with cancer, that was a hard blow for us. And she was almost stage 4. Her cancer had started to spread, and we said a lot of prayers. We did a lot of positive thinking. We worked on her a lot with my mom and aunt, put her on a supplement and nutrition program, and thankfully she was able to beat it. And I know pancreatic cancer is one of those things, but I do believe, no matter what the end result of it all is, trying to imagine that person healthy helps them, even as far as when you're around them, if you get to see them, and just the whole mindset. Like I don't want people coming to see me if I get something like that, feeling sad and feeling, defeated. And I think just all in all, it's so hard, but we just tried to kept imagining her healthy, kept talking to her like she was healthy. And I that's all I can say. And it helped us. And I think it helped her. But it's a hard thing. And I know pancreatic is especially hard. Let's see. Sandra is here. Hello, Sandra. Sandra says, I was just having the same conversation with my coach today about the positive mindset. That's what you mean? Yeah, if that's what you mean. It's hard. And when you have people with health issues or animals with health issues around you, it's very hard. And it's not an easy thing to do. And I am not perfect at it. I just try when we're having a good day to have a better day, right? And I think that's all that we can ask of ourselves, is to try to make the day the best that we can make the day. It might still be sadder than the day before, but trying to find the light in your day, and sometimes putting stuff to the side if you need to mentally. I think a lot of us here are very empathetic people, and I think we take on a lot of other, like when we talk about things here, I know when we talk about the weather, when we talk about people and their health, and we talk about things like that, a lot of you really, empathize and sympathize and, feel that pain with people. And so I know what that's like. And it's been very hard for me to think that, securing my own goodwill isn't selfish. And it is kind of the definition of selfish, but selfishness in that way, I don't think is always a bad thing. It's just like, everyone always falls back to the airplane thing. You got to put your mask on first before you can help others. And if you are depleted and you are, so worn down by everything going on, you can't send the good vibes. You can't send the help. You don't have the energy. And I get depressed. I'll probably be talking to someone about that soon. As I switched my doctor, they want me to start talking to someone and see something about that. So I'm sure there'll be more talk about that once in a while. But I know when I have those days, it feels very difficult to do anything. And I am just trying to realize when those days happen. And I'm trying to, on the good days, make them better and try to keep my own, buffer going and create a buffer, create a boundary, because you're allowed to have boundaries, right? You're allowed. And I'm learning that. Hello, Norma. Nancy says a new time for today, a new time. This week might be mostly the new time. It was really good, I think, yesterday. I had fun with people. It actually allowed me to, in the evening, I snuck down and my nephew was here. My mom got in touch with me and let me know that my nephew was playing a baseball game here. So I actually got to go down last night. It all worked out. That I got to go down and watch the baseball game. So that was really nice. They lost 2 games, unfortunately, but I did get to see them, parts of them anyway, and got to visit with my mom a little bit and my sister-in-law. So the new time worked out yesterday, and I had fun with y'all during the day. I have a little bit more energy sometimes at this point in the day, so that helps me get through everything and not be completely exhausted in the evenings. And I got to have kind of a wind down session in the evening last night, so that was a little bit different for me. Normally our evenings are very hectic and very rushed, and so I had a nice little evening. So I decided to try this again. We might do this most of this week. I will have my pottery class possibly tomorrow. I might move my pottery. I think I can move my pottery to maybe Thursday, because I think there's another baseball game on Wednesday night. So I think at least Wednesday and Thursday we're going to do the live earlier, and it might not be at 3. It may be 4, 3 or 4, somewhere in there. Probably keep it at 3. I like this time slot right now. But Friday I can't, because I'll be at the store, and I don't really want to do the live from the store just in case people come in at that time. So we'll do the live normal on Friday at the 7:30 p.m. slot. Suzanne says, Nancy, they're trying this time out. Yes. Bazit is here. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining us. Oops. Danette says he's at stage 4. That's difficult. That's difficult. And so they did see him on Sunday in the ER. We joked, etc. Kept the mood light. That's good. I think that's, that's healthy, I think. And it's hard. It's hard no matter what. I can't say much because I know my grandmother went through it. She was able to get through it, and hers wasn't pancreatic. It was, she had colon, and I think it went to her lungs. But we were able to help. And so part of me always, when I talk to somebody about that, like, I don't want to give people artificial hope, but I know the things that we did help. And I believe that because she refused chemo, and they went for radiation, and the cancer was gone before they could radiate her in any way. Yeah. But I know it's so hard, and every single person is different, and how it reacts in your body and how your body reacts to it. Let's see. Sandra says about how the P is getting me down. Oh, and she was like, you have to focus on the positive and not watch the news, or you're going to hear it. You're going to hear it anyway, right? Marianne says it must have been difficult. Danette, awesome you were able to do that. And people are saying glad that you could visit. My coach, Sandra said you have to protect your own mental health. Marianne says we all need to establish boundaries. I think that's true, right? I'm very bad at that. I do not generally stick up for myself and my own boundaries. And that's a hard thing for me, because I feel guilty doing it. I feel like I'm not being helpful to other people when I do that. I feel like people are going to think I'm inconsiderate, or, not able to empathize if I do that. But you know, I have to get over that. I have to get over what other people think so much. And I think we all maybe fall into that a little bit sometimes, once in a while. But yeah, there's a lot going on in the world. And you know, some other people I'm listening to, they talk about, you know, trying to find the good in the bad, if it's for nothing else other than to show you what you definitely don't want, so that you can turn away from it. And you know, there's a lot going on in the United States right now that I definitely don't want. And turning away from that and knowing for certain 100%, putting it out there that you don't want it and you want something the opposite of it, and being able to, you know, set your course for that, I think is a very, you know, it's at least finding the good in the worst situations. And I think if you're able to do that, I think it's helpful. I'm finding it helpful. We'll see how it continues to go, but you know, there is something to be said for, you know, being able to make that decision and, you know for sure, and have it presented to you that you don't want this and I want that instead. Danette says, awesome, you got to go to your nephew's baseball game. Yeah, I have not seen one in forever. All this year, I don't know if I saw one even last year. So it was really good to be able to go out and see, because I don't get to do that very often. Kimberly's here. Hello, Kimberly. I went to the concession stand at the baseball game last night and I thought about you. We were talking about it, and I guess my sister-in-law has to trade concession time instead of paying for the kids to be in the game. And I guess the concession people, they're actually trying, like, I guess they tried to pay for their kid, and instead of that, the concession people are actually holding checks and being like, can you just please do the concessions, because we need people in the concessions instead. So I thought about you, and I'm like, she's doing the good work. She's doing the good work. Let's see. I want a nap at this time of day. I could use a nap. I could go for that too. Kimberly says, I got my package yesterday, hoping to record an unboxing tonight. Awesome. I hope it goes well. I hope so. Hello, Karen. Thank you for joining us. Norma just woke up from a nap. Nice. Let's see here. Whoops. Whoa. It says that is a brilliant idea, something I plan to implement in the future. What is an idea? What's an idea? I don't know. My life. I rattle on and then I don't see the comments until after I rattle on, and I have no idea what some comments relate to sometimes. But see, the concessions and fees. Yeah, they can. They were asking parents not to pay for their kids to be in, and just to do the concession switch instead, because they definitely needed help. So that was that. But I was talking to my mom about that, and how you had a bunch of kids you had to do concessions for. And so we were laughing, but I did get fries last night. I missed, my mom got chicken strips, and I missed chicken strips so much. That used to be my go-to concession, my go-to Sheetz food, which is our local gas station, but they do good food. If you know Sheetz, it's not everywhere, but it's starting to expand a lot. And they used to have what I think was some of the best chicken strips. And Paolo and Babette, we'd actually sometimes, one Thanksgiving, we didn't have a lot of time for Thanksgiving. We were busy. And so we stopped at Sheetz for our chicken strips for Thanksgiving, and Paolo and Babette got their own little box of chicken strips. So that was fun. And they enjoyed that. But then they changed the recipe for the chicken strips. They started bringing in a different brand of chicken strips, and sometimes I joke that that's why we ended up going vegetarian, because Sheetz changed their chicken strips. But that is not the reason. But yeah, they weren't as good, so there was no desire to have them anymore. Sandra says, I heard Sheetz is starting to expand in Florida. Wow, I had no idea. Karen says there's concession stands at kids games, not here that I know of. Oh yes. Yep. There's concessions at all of our kid games, from the Pee Wee League all the way up now to whatever it is they're playing. So I think he's 12. So yeah, we've got concessions. They did have, I kept smelling funnel cake, and I went up there and they didn't have funnel cakes, but they had funnel cake fries, and I almost got those. But I was like, that's very sweet, and I hadn't had anything to eat yet for the day, so I'm like, I better just have the regular French fries. But I think tomorrow, if I'm able to go, it's going to be a funnel cake fry day. I'm going to make sure I eat a little something else beforehand, and then get my funnel cake fries at the concession. Marion says Loki would be up for a chicken strip box just for him, right? Yeah, Paolo and Babette love those Sheetz chicken strips. They would practically attack us anytime we had them. But now our kids, they have, we don't eat meat, so they go after, we do put a lot of cheese in things, and sometimes cream and sour creams and stuff. So they like that. Suzanne says your shirt almost matches some green beads behind you. I know, right? Right there, right there, right there. These ones especially, right? Or maybe these ones the most. It really pulls the green out from the background, right? This is my green AG shirt, Allegory Gallery. We don't make these anymore. I should make some more of these. Maybe we'll make a batch of them at some point if people would want a shirt. Sandra says the only reason I know that is they asked if I had a Sheetz card when I visited North Carolina, and they said they were expanding in Florida. Wow, I had no idea. They are definitely making their way along the East Coast. I think they started the state that they were in after us, I think it was West Virginia, and they were only in Pennsylvania and then West Virginia for a long time, and then they've really started expanding. I will say, I do feel like as they've expanded, the quality has gone down a little bit. Not significantly. You know, for the most part, I will still choose a Sheetz over pretty much anywhere else if we have the chance, because the bathrooms are usually very clean. The food is consistent. And it may not be that the quality has gone down as much as I feel like, well, the chicken strips did, but it might just be because we can only have vegetarian, and they don't have a ton of vegetarian. They do have some options, which is always good when we're on the road and come across one, when it's hard to find anything else quick. But we kind of have to have the same things a lot, and so that's hard. That is hard. Kimberly says, yep, I worked every single one of our JR softball, baseball concessions. I'm still exhausted. That's a lot. That is a lot. You need to get some other parents in there to help. Tell them, don't pay. Get in the concession booth. And I guess a lot of parents are like, my sister-in-law, she has to work, like, I think 4 different times. She has to work 4 2-hour shifts, I think is how it works out. I think that's what my mom said. She has to do 4 2-hour shifts, and that helps cover the fee for her kid to be in the games. Let's see here. Vicky's here. Hello, Vicky. Suzanne says sweatshirts. Oh, you want sweatshirts? Maybe. I could use a sweatshirt. I'm very kind of picky with my sweatshirts. I would have to find, and then I'd probably find them and they'd be super duper expensive. But because I don't want just any sweatshirt, right? I feel like when you put a sweatshirt on, a sweatshirt has to be comfy. My old job, they used to produce a lot of sweatshirts, and some of them were very comfortable. Like you'd wash them and they'd get super soft, and they had hoodies, and then some of them, just no matter how many times you wash them, they felt rough, like thick, rough, and I don't know. So I'm kind of picky with that, but I could use some Allegory Gallery sweatshirts maybe. Susie says, I want to see a Buc-ee's in PA. I have no idea what that is. I don't know them at all. Da, da, da. Now I understand what you're all writing. I thought you didn't want to use the word poop. I don't know what you're talking about, Karen. I don't know what you're talking about. Harry's here. Hello, Harry. Thank you for joining us. That would be why the hold of play fees would be good, right? Yeah. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. So yeah, that's well, we have 40 lots today. Yes, Suzanne, I got 40 lots. I may have a little more, but I pulled a few extras, I think, just because I lost count at one point. I'm like, let's throw some extras in. But we're going to go to 40. I'm not going to go past that, but I'm going to pull my favorites. I already pulled my favorites. I did some digging and found some beads we haven't shown for a while, for a long while. So some of these are going to be, they haven't been around for a while, if at all. So I think that'll be nice. And they have really good prices on them. Really good prices. Sander gets what you're saying, Karen. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm so... when I do these lives, a lot of this, like these are unscripted, if you can believe it. But you can believe it. Yeah, I don't have a script for these, and I don't even make notes most of the time about, unless there's things I really want to talk about. So sometimes I get on a roll, and then people will say things in the comments. I'm like, I have no idea what that means. And sometimes when Andrew's here, he can help me. But most of the time, so if I don't get your comment, then sorry, and don't be offended, because I just spew out, stream of consciousness thought sometimes as we talk about various topics, and then we, and then I lose track of what I've said sometimes. That also means that if I ever offend you and you feel like you need to write me about it, that's okay too. But don't be too mean, because I'm never here to offend people. And I do get worried that I'm going to offend somebody sometimes when I talk about the way I believe in things. And when I do that, by no means do I think anyone should believe the same way as me. But I try to share things that I've learned or things that I am learning. Because I feel like that, oh, I thought the word sheets was, that makes sense. Okay. Cha-ching, it works, right? Bing, bing, bing. It's a gas station with food. So yeah, I just share things that I'm learning. I think that sometimes, I think that no matter what age we are, I think we can learn something from anybody. I've learned things from my niece and nephew. I've learned things from people who are older than me. I've learned things from people who are the same age as me. I think we need to be open to that, because you never know. People have different life experiences, and instead of putting yourself in that position and going through those processes, sometimes it's just nice to hear it from someone else and not have to go through that, right? So sometimes, that's why I always talk about the things that I'm learning and the things that I'm doing, because I never know when it might help someone else. And, as much as I say, as I'm learning that it's okay to be selfish, I also like to spread the love and help people. It's not going to change in me. So if anybody can learn anything from what I've been through and what I'm learning, and if it can give you a new perspective or something new to research or look at, that's what I hope for. And I do the same with all of you. Whenever you talk about things, you never know when I'm going to go off onto a tangent, looking at things or researching things that somebody mentioned on here. So that's why I like these discussions, and that's why I like when people participate, because when people participate in these and comment on these topics and just in general on the lives, I can often, we often find out new things, and it's fun. I think it's fun. Harry baked a loaf of Japanese milk bread today. It was great. I saw it rising. I saw the picture of it rising. Andrew has gotten into baking bread recently, and so now that he's gone, I don't have bread in the house because we weren't buying it because he was making it almost every night. I'm not a bread maker yet. I've not even tried, so I shouldn't say I'm not. Maybe I'm the best bread maker in the world. Who knows? I've never tried to do it. So maybe someday I will try to bake some bread, make some bread, and then bake some bread. Let's see. Marion says, love yourself first, then as many people as possible. I think that's, Harry says, that's great advice. I think that's something. And, you know, if I'd come out and say that exactly like that, I would feel selfish about it, but it's not. I mean, it is, but it's also okay, right? I think what I'm learning is that being selfish is not a bad thing. It's a bad thing if you take it to an extreme, just like anything else. Anything taken to an extreme can be a bad thing. It can turn into a bad thing, right? Extreme happiness is often covering up for something else, right? Extreme joy, manic in a manic depressive, that it's, you know, or bipolar. It's anything taken to an extreme. Love taken to an extreme can get dangerous, right? And so can selfishness. But I think in moderation, I think it's healthy to be selfish in some ways, in a lot of ways, in general, because you do have to take care of yourself. And I like that, Marianne. I like that because I think you do have to love yourself and then give that to as many people as you can and as will accept it. Good job, Marianne. I like that. So yeah, what's everyone else doing? What have you been up to today? I spent a little bit of my afternoon at home with the cats because I haven't actually, I feel like I haven't had a lot of time with them because I've been running around. So, and I think they've been on edge because we were doing so much running around getting Andrew ready to leave. And they weren't kind of getting the same attention they were used to. And so I've been trying to spend a little bit more time with them. We played a little bit on the stairs. They like to run up and down the stairs with toys. So I played with them a little bit last night and then spent a little bit of the afternoon with them today. I didn't get to take them out though this afternoon. So I promised Barnaby that after the live, I would come home for a little bit and take him outside. So after the live here, I'm going to get some packages packed up, and then I'm going to head home and take him out for a little walk. I've been taking the girls out for short little walks. Now that they're all, you know, spayed and they're healed, they are going out for short walks in the yard to learn their boundaries one at a time. Oftentimes I'll take them out with Barnaby, sometimes Gilbert, but Gilbert and the little girls fight. And I don't know what it is. Gilbert seems to want to pick on Gertie. Gilbert wants to pick on Gertie and chases her around a little bit. And so the other girls have started sticking up for Gertie, and they chase Gilbert around. Both Idabelle and Tallulah especially. Tallulah has taken it personally that he's chasing Gertie around. And so Tallulah, to no end sometimes, will chase him around the house, and unprovoked, It's just like she gets it in her head, like, I remember you chased Gertie. And then she attacks him and chases him around the house. And then usually all three girls then gang up on him. So, but yet he still chases Gertie. I've tried to talk to him about this, about how they're protecting their sister. And if he just stopped doing that, we'd talk to them about stopping that. But if he continues to chase Gertie, we're going to continue to let them chase him when he does that. So it's been quite a lot. So Barnaby sometimes gets thrown into the mix, but generally they leave him alone, and he takes care of them and kisses them and licks them and cleans them, and they clean him. And so he goes outside, and I don't really have to watch him too much outside. He's pretty good. He knows his boundaries. He pretty much goes into one of a few places when we go outside and kind of sits down and rolls around and eats the catnip, and then goes on the cement and rolls around. That's pretty much Barnaby's day when he's outside. And so I let him go out, and then I let the little girls come out, and I walk with them and keep close to them. And they see him, and they know where they're allowed to go and where they're not supposed to go. Let's see here. Dennis, do you have your hands full of the kitties? Barnaby is just chill. Barnaby is pretty chill. He's been coughing a lot lately, but I think it's the heat. We have, of course, it's dry inside, but he likes to, or it's cool inside and dry because we have the air conditioners running. But I think he likes to go down in the basement in his man cave, and he was eating the fig tree, which is not good for him. So we had to move that. We moved that higher so that he doesn't go up and get it. And so now he's allowed back down there. And he, but it's warm and moist down there. Like the basement is warmer, and we have a dehumidifier down there, which helps, but it's just been really hot down there. Normally our basement stays pretty cool, but this year it has warmed up quick. And I don't know why. Andrew and I were talking about that. So he goes down there. So I think the temperature changes because he wants to go down there, and then he wants to come back up, and then he wants to go down there, and then he wants to come back up, and then he goes outside, which is really humid and warm. So I think that's been affecting him, but he loves to do all of them, and I don't want to stop him from doing it if he wants to do it. And this says, that's weird that the basement is warm since heat rises. I know, but I think because, I don't know if it's because we have the cool air upstairs with all the air conditioners, that it's keeping like a buffer of, the heat is rising, but only to the basement. Basement ceiling, which is the floor upstairs. I don't know, but it's very warm down there. And so, yeah, but he likes to go down there, and I don't want to stop him because, I know he has his asthma, and but we try and let him, he's a good boy and generally, so we let him do what he likes to do and keep him happy and keep him healthy. And, cats definitely can get depressed, and we try to play with them, and he doesn't really like to play too much. He's not like he doesn't play with toys much. So the way that we keep Barnaby from being depressed is let him go out a little bit and then let him go down in his man cave, and that seems to help him in his mental things. Harry says, my 6 indoor cats, their wrestling matches daily is cat nature to determine rank. Yeah, I know. And that's why we kind of let it go. But sometimes it gets very, very loud and rambunctious. So I pretty much let them do their thing. But like Gertie already knows, like she's pretty much the lowest on the pole. She's the smallest. She waits for everybody else to eat. She eats last. She just she knows that she's, where she is. And so it feels like when Gilbert picks on her, he's just doing it just to do it, because he can, because she's the smallest. So when her sisters stick up for her, it's kind of really cute. Gilbert was chasing Gertie last night, and he chases her to under she runs under the couch, and then she tries to bat him from under the couch, and because he can't fit under the couch. And so Idabelle was sitting with me, nice and quiet. We were sitting together. We were watching a little TV last night, and she was all curled up beside me. And Gilbert chased Gertie over there, and she stood right up, looked him dead in the eyes, and just went after him and chased him away from Gertie. And then Tallulah came in and chased him the rest of the way out of the room. So it's kind of cute how they stick up for one another. You know, sometimes as cats get older, they grow out of that. I know Barnaby and Gilbert used to be really close, and then as they got older, they got out of that. So I kind of hope the girls don't, and that they're always like that for each other. All cats can have bad days too. I know. My girl Seif is the top of the heap. Yeah, I think Idabelle is the top of the heap. I think she came in because Babette used to be, and then it was Paolo and Babette. Babette was definitely the alpha. And then when Barnaby and Gilbert came, there was some fighting for a little while, but Babette still won out. And then when Paolo passed, Babette was still there. Now, when Babette passed, the boys started kind of tussling between each other. And I think Gilbert, because he was bigger, kind of won out. But he didn't want it. And I think it made him very upset because he started getting very anxious. And I think it was just too much. The power was too much for him. And when the girls came, he felt even worse because he felt like he had to be the top. But he's a ginger. He's not built for that. That's not his. He wants to just be a sweet ginger boy. And so when Idabelle got old enough and started, bossing everyone around, and I think he was happy to give that up and just be lower in rank. And so she is definitely, I think, the top now. She's the top cat. It's funny that one of the younger ones came in and was top, but it's what happens sometimes. Hello, Lennis. Thank you for joining us. Karen's inside today. The air is too heavy. Smell from the fires and the haze. It's 40 Celsius. Where are you at, Karen, that it's 40 degrees Celsius? That's hot. Lena says, that sounds like Augie, my ginger. He's the largest, but is anxious all the time, hence the peeing. Yeah, Gilbert went and started peeing when he was top dog, top cat. We had some outside cats, and he would start peeing to mark things because it just made him so nervous. And so we were feeding outside cats for a while, just putting some food out for them because, it was winter and we didn't want them not to have any food. But we had to stop, and I felt so bad, but we had to stop because Gilbert was going wild, and it was putting a lot of pressure on him because he was constantly awake. He was constantly running from window to window to window and peeing below the windows and the doors. So it was definitely, it was good that the girls came in, I think, and one of them decided that they were going to be top cat. Norma says, ginger boys are naturally laid back. My Waldo is super sweet and chill. Yeah, Gilbert, he just wants to lounge around, play with a toy once in a while, and eat, and just be a sweet boy. And I don't know why he's decides he has to chase Gertie. I don't know if Gertie's instigating it in her cat language. I don't know if she, we only ever see him chasing her into the room. We don't always see what started all of that. So Gertie could be instigating it, and he's just, a product of, he's getting in trouble because he's, following through. I don't know. But because Gertie's the littlest, she always gets stuck up for. We stick up for her. Suzanne says Charlie is top cat. Cinnamon has FOMO. Harry says, my ginger is George, and he is the most active, especially when he takes a dump. He then goes and we do zoomies. He races around yowling. Yeah, there's actually a thing. That's a real thing. I know we always talk about it, but I was reading an article about that, and I forget why. There's a reason. Something, I don't know if it has to do with something like some kind of endorphins are released or something. Something happens when they go to the bathroom. And that's why cats get the zoomies. There's an actual thing, a process that happens. So yeah, it's a real thing. Barnaby sometimes does that. When he goes to the bathroom, he usually torpedoes out of the bathroom. He doesn't run around too much or yell or anything, but he will go to the bathroom, covered up, and then shoot out of the litter box and run usually up the stairs. And that's usually about as much as he does. Gilbert sometimes, not too often, but yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. Anyway, let's get started. Yes, a good dump is such a relief. Here we're getting into the poop talk. See, Karen, sooner or later we were going to get into the poop talk. Yeah, usually that's Andrew. Danette says, Lucy, my dog gets the zoomies after she does her business too. See, it's good for everybody, right? It's a good time for everybody. Lucy also gets the zoomies after a bath. Dogs do that a lot, right? After a bath, they go running around. There he is missing Andrew, maybe, right? Yeah, he's not here to talk about the poop talk, so we gotta do it for him once in a while. I've not heard much from Andrew. I texted him a little bit last night. He's having a good time. He was researching last night for an article that he's writing. So we didn't get to talk too long because he was busy researching. And this morning he left me a message at about 7:30 in the morning, which is not even a time that I recognize. So I was definitely not awake. And by the time I got awake and around and moving, I think he was in his class. So that's kind of, you know, poop talk starts usually after 50, says Karen, right? Yeah. Or after 50 minutes here on the live at Allegory Gallery. Anyway, let's flip the camera around now and let's take a look at some stuff. How about it? I pulled some fun stuff, I think. I hope you all like it. Like I said, some of it's stuff that I don't think we've shown or haven't shown in a long time. I found some boxes around. Let's see here. Oops, I keep doing that. The new setup makes me do that. Oh, and I forget, I have to still flip the camera. All right, there we go. Dennis says, I do think most dogs get zoomies after a bath. I know Lucy won't shake off in the shower. As soon as she jumps out, I try to throw a towel on her and get her dry. Water splashes everywhere, right? Suzanne says, what beauties do you have for us? We'll see. I think I pulled some nice stuff. I hope y'all like it. Two. I have only two of these strands. These are really pretty, I think. Whoa. Sorry, I'm running into my stand here. All right, what letters am I going to use today? What have I not used? How about TAL, Tuesday Afternoon Live? How about that? Okay. Let's see. How much do I want on these? These are normally 14. We'll do them for 10. I've got 2 strands available. And these are beautiful Vintage freshwater dyed pearls in all different shades of pink/magenta. They are center drilled. Vintage freshwater pearls. Nice and small. Great for spacers, earrings. I think that would make a fun multi-wrap bracelet. Like super cool. Add some other beads in there, right? Do some other stuff with it. These are about 3 millimeters by about 4. 3 by 4. And the strands are approximately 16-inch strands. There are 2 of them available, $10 each, TAL1. If you'd like to purchase something from this video, this is how you do it. You take down the lot number, which is the TAL number, put it in the subject line of an email, and then send that email to info@allegorygallery.com. I'm going to put a banner across the bottom so that information is scrolling down there if you need to reference that again. And please send a new email each time. Don't reply to an old email to send a new one. Please just send a brand new one every time. And if you do send an email and you get it, it is first come, first serve. You are promising to take it. We will send an invoice after the show. If you are new and you've never bought from us before, or you've changed your email, please make sure that we have your shipping address as well by the end of the show. All right. And both of these have just sold out. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. I'll take them off. I'll leave the ones up that haven't sold, but if they sell, I take them away so that everybody knows. Thank you, thank you. TAL2. Let's see, what else do I have here? These are fun. These are magnesite carved Buddha heads, laughing Buddhas. And these are $1 each. And I'm going to just put MLA at the bottom. Multiple lots available. I'm not going to count them all out. But I have a number of them. And they were in strands, but they're vintage and the strands were falling apart. So the strands fell apart. So I'm just selling them as individual beads right now. And so they're Laughing Buddhas. They are carved magnesite. And they are 19 millimeters by 17.5 approximately. And so they're $1 each. 2, 4, 6. There's 8 of them here showing. But they are priced per each. And that's TAL2. I think they're super cool. Marion says, I just received a notification about that post, Harry, although I saw it this morning. Oh, with Harry's cartoon. I haven't seen the cartoon yet, the political cartoon he made. So I'll have to look. Sometimes Facebook tells me things and sometimes it does not. Sometimes it tells me things, like Marion said, after I've already seen it. Which is a little strange. Oh, I was watching a video. Have you noticed, I don't know if it's happening to everybody, but on the Reels now, I think it's on Facebook, maybe it's on Instagram. On the Reels, they're putting up ads right down where your finger rests. And so I always try and cancel out the ads, but every once in a while I actually click on the ads instead of canceling out the ads because the X is so small. But it makes me crazy to watch the ads, to try and watch the video through the ads that pop up. So I always try to X them out. And I accidentally clicked on one today, and literally after I did that, it was for, I don't know, it was for some kind of credit or something. And every ad I got was for personal loans or credit cards. And it was literally on Facebook, every other post was an ad for these things. And I would see like maybe a friend's post or a sponsored post. And then I would see an ad, which was for, hey, apply for this loan. Hey, apply for this credit card. And it was literally every other thing. And I kept scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, thinking I'd get past it. Every other one was an ad. I'm like, all I did was accidentally click on an ad. One ad, and everything from that point on, I'm like, this is insane. And I do believe it was on Instagram that I actually clicked on the ad, and it was on Facebook where all this stuff started showing up in my timeline. So they are very well put together. I said, you know, I wish I was smart enough and had enough money to be able to put ads for Allegory where every other post was an Allegory post for people. Of course, then that might turn people off. Sandra said, just hit not interested. I had to hit not interested on like 15 of them, and then finally it sorted it out. But that was insane. All right. I'm going to do these $3, TAL3. These are vintage check glass angels in this bright orange. Vintage check glass angel beads. $3 for the lot of 3 of them. They are about 13 millimeters by 22 millimeters. 15 is crazy, says Sandra. I know. It took a long time for them to finally go away. Now, and I just did that about a half hour before I started the live. I've not been on Facebook since. So we'll see when I get back on Facebook later tonight if it holds or not. I don't know if it's going to hold, but we'll find out. All right. Yesterday, we had some neon apatite rondelles that people really liked. Today, I have some microfaceted neon apatite. TAL4. I have 4 of these, and these were 24 each. I'm going to do them for y'all. I'm going to drop them down to 18 for today. TAL4. If you want some neon apatite faceted rondelles to go in between those that you got yesterday, maybe, these would be really nice in between. So these strands, I think these are 13.5 to 14-inch strands, and these are 3 millimeter apatite rondelles. TAL4, beautiful. These are non-dyed. This is the natural color of this stone, which is incredible. TAL4, $18 a strand, 4 strands available. Okay, so those are pretty. Yeah, those I found in a box that I don't think we've had out for quite some time, which is so strange. Sandra said, beautiful apatite. They really are. They're an excellent, excellent deal at $18 each right now, too. Let me go down. I want to make sure. We had some people going to junk yesterday. I want to make sure that no one else is going to junk right now. Okay, good. And this is TAL5. And this was 14. I'm going to bring it down to 12. Can't go too low on this one because these are really pretty and really cool. These are vintage copper beads. Really pretty design on these. Can you see it? Hopefully you can see that. And this is, if I get this out of the way, an 8-inch strand of these vintage copper. And each bead is approximately 6.8 millimeters by 10.1. It's about 6.5 by 10. Vintage copper beads, $12 for the strand. They smell like pennies. All right. TL2, TL3, TL4, TL5, all still available. And let's see, what else do I have? Oh, I love these. Let me make room. Okay, I'm going to put TAL2 away. These are these magnesite carved Buddha heads at $1 each. Oh, I just sold TAL5. Thank you so much. That's this one, the copper. Appreciate that. I don't know if you saw, Andrew had posted on his timeline that we had gotten some homeopathic allergy medicine and a book from somebody. This is the Allergy Calm from France. And we got that and a book from somebody that's about a cat. And the cat, I think it's I think the title of the book is something, Maybe I'm Not a God, or something like that. And I haven't read the book yet, but I'm gonna start reading it tonight. I think it's just a short book, but the title is funny, and so that had me thinking to ask if anybody's read anything good lately, because I'm pretty interested in getting into that book. I was gonna start it last night, and then I started watching this show last night. It's like this reality TV show, which is so dumb. I shouldn't be watching it, but it was something mind-numbing to watch while I was working on other things. And it's about these people, and they are something about a millionaire. They're like, there's a box with $1 million in it. Let me do this first. It's hard for me to talk and do this at the same time. These were $65. I'm going to drop these down to, let's go low for y'all. Let's do $40. $40. These are beautiful quartz drops. And some of these quartz drops are tourmalinated. Some of them are rutilated. Some of them are a little bit like a pineapple quartz, a little bit yellow. Some have a little bit of blue in them even. Some look kind of like a light aquamarine. But these are stunning, beautiful drops that I think would look amazing in earrings. And I'm really giving you the good price today on these. This is the other strand. There are 2 strands. I should put that on here. There are 2 strands of these available, and only $40 each. I mean, we would put these in earrings and sell the earrings for like $38 a pair. So that makes up 1 or 2 pairs of earrings can make up that whole strand if you do shows or if you sell online. And these are beautiful. And generally, let me just grab one of these to show you. Size, about 13.5 by 9 millimeters on those. Sandra says, what appetite did you show yesterday? I took it away already. Hold on. I'll be right back. I'll show you. One moment, everybody. Okay, I'm back. So anyway, I was watching this show. It's about these people who go to this millionaire's lodge, and there's somebody in their room has a box that has $1 million in it. And it's up to the other players to try to hunt down the millionaire and figure out who it is. And if they send that millionaire home, then the money goes to somebody else, and they got to continue to find out who it is until the last person is left, and they end up being a millionaire because they win the $1 million. And so I started watching that yesterday, and I got too into that instead of reading my book. So hopefully I'll get to my book tonight. Sandra, this is the appetite. Whoa! From yesterday. We had appetite yesterday. We had beautiful aquamarine yesterday. If you missed yesterday's show, this is the appetite we had yesterday. These slightly graduated smooth rondelles, which, like I said, if you wanted to make an appetite something and you wanted all neon appetite, look at those together. So those could be spacers in between these. And then you would get more for your money's worth out of all of it, because these are only $18. These are only $45. We did a really good deal again. I went from 60 to 45 on that. That's the lowest price I can do on those. And these, I think, were, did we find out these were the extra long ones? Yeah, these are actually 18-inch strands instead of 16-inch strands. Normally these are 16. These are 18-inch strands of apatite plus the sterling silver extender chain and lobster claw that's on them. But again, we just sell them as strands, not as full necklaces. For you all, in the store the price is higher and we sell them as full necklaces for people. LED 26, $45 from yesterday. I think I do still have some of those available. There might be just one still available, I think. Whoops. All right. So that was yesterday's appetite. And if you missed yesterday's aquamarine, it's definitely worth a look too, because I think we have one or two of those strands left, and they were stunningly gorgeous. Some of my favorite aquamarine that we have. I'll just show that real quick. This was the aquamarine from yesterday. Sorry for those of you who saw it, but I'll just give a replay. You may have missed it too. I know you can't watch everything. LED 20 was this beautiful aquamarine and moss aquamarine rondelles. And these are really high quality aquamarine rondelles. Look how clear those are. A lot of times aquamarine is a little bit foggy or unclear. These are super beautiful clear. And we brought them from $28 down to $20 only a strand. LED 20. And they are 14-inch strands. So there's at least one of those, maybe two of those left. We only had 5 to start. So those went pretty quickly too, but I do still have at least one left. Says, you're killing me, William. I was trying to save money. Thanks for showing. Well, hey, that's, you know, that's, we don't do the hard sell, but I am going to do my job and try and show you stuff, right? I'm terrible at the hard sell. I'm not going to pressure anyone into buying stuff, but you know, I feel like people want stuff. People should get stuff, right? Okay, so you saw the quartz. Everybody see the quartz? I can't believe we still have these at $40 a strand. They are a deal. Okay, let's see here. And these, nobody wants the angels. $3 TAL3. I'm surprised. I thought those would go right away. Marion says the aqua was what I succumbed to yesterday. Sandra. Kimberly says I know, right? Well. Trying, you know? Okay, here's one that's not going to hopefully break anyone's budget. These are $5 each. Oops. $5 each, and there's 2 of them available. These are these, they are the sawdust beads. These are the sawdust beads, and they're colored. They're done to look like cloisonne, So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 beads, and they are about 19.5 millimeters. And there are 2 strands available, $5 a strand. Super pretty, super duper duper light. Because it's like a sawdust in there. And then they color it, and then they make it like cloisonne. Sandra says, I think I have 1 strand of the aqua, and it is beautiful. 1 strand is never enough. Not for that price. That's the lowest price we've ever done on that. 20 bucks? You kidding me? That's like AAA grade aquamarine, $20 a strand for a 14-inch strand. Marianne has another type of moss aqua I plan to use with them. Oh, good. Good, good, good. Okay, let me put some stuff away. Nobody wants the tile 3, so we're just gonna put those away. Goodbye, little angels. Goodbye. And the 4. No one has grabbed any of the 4s. Surprising. $18 a strand on those. Maybe I'll have them. Although there's 4 strands, and we've only, I think, ever had 5 of those strands. So not many of you probably have that one, unless we had another run of them at one point. Let's move these over. Of course, I know you also go other places to buy things, right? I know. It's not just from us. We appreciate all the support, because a lot of you do support us very almost exclusively, I think, and we really do appreciate that. All right, these are gorgeous labradorite beads. Look at that flash. These are top drilled drops, and these are some really nice pendants. I can get the flash. Sometimes I can't get the light to work. Depends how it hits the light. There it is. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful beads. There it is. And I feel like I should be able to get this one to go. Maybe this one doesn't have as... There it is, right there. So there they are. There are 6 of these available, and they are $7 each. These are really, really high quality beads. Marianne says, I've only been buying from AG for a while now. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. So this is TAL8, and these are generally, they're all different sizes, but let me pick one. This is kind of a middle size. This is about 12.5 millimeters by 24. And, okay. All right. Let's, TAL9. This was 98 originally, which was a really good price anyway. I'm going to bring it down to 74, the lowest price we've ever done. TAL9. TAL9, $74. This is Lithuanian Baltic Amber. You get a huge, it's actually a necklace that's already done. I would restring this. This is vintage plastic. It's not an amber, but it looks like it. It looks really a lot like it. But it's a vintage plastic closure. It's a twist closure. But this is the amber. You get all of that. Look at some of these pieces on here. You get all of that for $74. was 98, which I think was already a low price. This should probably be in 150, 148, somewhere in there at least. This is a really nice strand of large chunks of real amber. And you get the whole thing. This is a 18-inch strand for $74. TAL9. I love amber. We sold 2 of the TAL8s. Thank you so much. We still have 4 of those available. TAL10. There says, oh my, that amber is gorgeous. It really is. It's a really deluxe piece. It's a really deluxe piece for not a lot of money, right? And it's super light, of course. Amber is super light. It's all real amber. Just look at the, like, I wish I could show you each individual piece because they're so pretty. And I love when they're this kind of rich, almost red color. That's my favorite. With the brown inclusions. A little bit of brown, a little bit of red. TAL9. And this is, oh wow, outstanding, right? And surprisingly, still available. I don't know, y'all. Maybe you're all waiting to see everything, right? I do that. TAL10. Sandra says it's luscious. Yes, it is. It's a good word for it. Don't eat the beads. These are these Nepalese cones. And they have turquoise in them. I think my camera is, sorry everybody. There. That's better. These are super cool. I love this stuff. I love adding it into my jewelry pieces. These are 19 by approximately 32 millimeters. There are 4 of them available. They are $10 each. TAL10. I love those. Love, love, love. Okay. I guess I'm putting the quartz back. Nobody's grabbing the quartz. One last look at these, in case you missed it. Beautiful, tourmalinated, rutilated, a little bit of pineapple quartz looking in there, sometimes a little bit of even blue in there. These are really stunning drops. Show you the other strand. Really pretty for earrings. Think of the luscious bracelet you can make with that. See, there's a little bit of green blue even in them, like a little bit of that kind of aquamarine coloring. But imagine that as a bracelet. Ooh, luxe. Super luxe. If you can't sell that for $80, these are only $40. Double your price. Just make into a bracelet and double. You should be able to triple that price or quadruple it at least. But there you go. 2 strands available. TAL6 going back in the bag. $40 each only. Down from $65. TAL7 are these light, light, light beads. Super light sawdust beads done in a cloisonné style. $5 per strand, so that's only $1 a bead. 2 strands available. Put those back so I make room on my table. right, TAL8 are these luscious labradorite faceted drops. They are flat backed as well, so you could technically use them as cabs if you wanted to. They are drilled side to side. We've sold 2 of those so far. We've got 4 of them still available. We have the beautiful amber TAL9, $74, and then the Nepalese cone beads with the turquoise. And those are $10 each. TAL11. These are hand-carved bone alligators or crocodiles. I'm not sure. Here they are. They look like this. Hand-carved bone. The holes go up through and out the top. So they go like that. So they would hang this way. Super light. Like I could see those in earrings for somebody. Wouldn't those be cool earrings? Super cool. TAL11. They are approximately 2.5 inches by about 7/8 of an inch. Hand carved bone alligators or crocodiles. I think it's an alligator. Where's the crocodile? Aren't crocodiles usually pointier though? Those don't look very pointy in the mouth. So I think, or nose. TAL11, 2 of them available, $12 each. I didn't even know we had any of those left. I found those in that box too. We just sold both of them. Thank you so much. And to check to make sure that was right before that was what the pause was about. So both of those have sold. I will take those off the board so it doesn't confuse anybody. Thank you, thank you. Kimberly says, uh-oh, darn it. Suzanne says, alligator mouth, crocodile nose. I don't know. They're like a creature. One of those kind of creatures. Let's see, how many of these do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's do $3.50 on these. $3.50 for the lot. Reptiles, right? Bone gets scooped up quick, says Kimberly. It sure does. I'm always too slow on the creatures. Yes. Yes. This is carved bone, dyed in carved bone. And these are tubular beads. They have a smaller hole. They're not like a big tube-shaped hole. But these are in the kind of dyed black with the gold inset. $3.50. They're 50 cents a bead is what it works down to. And these are about 8 by 26. 8 by 26 millimeters for those. I think they're fun. TAL 12. And then I know y'all liked the hematite the other day, so I found some different shapes in hematite that we had. TAL 13. So let's see here. And these are $10 a bag, which I think is a really good deal, because if they were what's the word? Strands. If they were strands, they would be more, I think. Move these a little bit. TAL 13. Oops, one escaped. Are these hematite coins. And they look like this. So they're drilled through. There we go. You see? There it is. Drilled through that way. And you get the bag of coins. And these are natural hematite, real hematite. And they're $10. You've got one bag of the coins. TAL 13. And these are approximately, let me see if I can get on there, 12.5 millimeter coins. TAL 13. All right. I'm going to put TAL 8 away. These are these beautiful labradorite drops. They're $7 each. I still have 4 of them available if you're interested. Move these over, move these over, move these down below here. And TAL 14, $10. Another hematite. This time it's a mix of these. So some of these are these tubes, some of these are kind of rice beads, and there's a few rounds of various sizes thrown in. So you're getting a whole bag of all these different hematite beads of all different sizes. The rice beads are about 4.5 by 16.5. The cylinders are about 18.5 by 9.5. Nope, I knew that wasn't right. 4.5 by 13. Sorry, I'm dropping some of these. This round is about 7.5, and the tiny rounds are about 5. I got you. Where are you going? Where do you think you're going? All right. So you get the whole bag of those. That's a big bag of those too. I mean, it's full. Just gonna get these out without dropping more of them. And that's TAL 14, $10. Okay. Let me get a bag. Let me put this. Okay, I'm putting the amber away. Amber going away. Beautiful amber. Only $74. And I'm going to put these away as well. These are the Nepalese horn beads. Or cone. Cone, that's the word. Cone. Not Nepalese horn. We have those in the store, in the online store. And remember, we still have our sale going on in the online store, 25% off using discount code on the road. That goes through tomorrow at midnight. And then that sale expires. Okay, this is a beautiful strand of vintage blue chalcedony. This was, this is TAL 15, was 48. I'm going to take it down to, let's do 30. $30. Beautiful blue chalcedony, faceted simple cut nuggets. Some of these have some really pretty patterns. There's a nice mix on this strand of ones with patterns in the matrix and then some more plain ones. This is a really pretty strand of the blue chalcedony. This one's a little bit more plain, and lots of matrix and goodness in that one, and that one as well. Wonderful strand. These beads are approximately, let me just pick one here. I don't know. What one do I pick? Pick this one. This is about 24 millimeters by 26 millimeters. One strand available, and that is a 16-inch strand. $30. TAL 15. We also have some beautiful blue chalcedony on the D-Stash group right now. If you missed any of that, be sure to check that out as well. Now this is another blue chalcedony. This is a really special strand. This is at $76, and I can't go lower. And you'll see why. These are hand-carved, double-drilled blue chalcedony lotus flowers. Look at those. You get the whole strand of them. Sit down for a second again. I'm constantly up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down when I do these lives here. Hand-carved blue chalcedony lotus flowers. Impeccably done. 2 holes drilled through. And these are approximately 13 millimeters. So if you wanted to make a bracelet with those, you can make a few bracelets with those. Look how beautiful. TAL 16, vintage strand. And this strand is approximately a 14-inch strand. A 14-inch strand, TAL 16, $76. I can't read. Like when I write, and I can't read what I even wrote. This was 22. Let's bring it down to 16. Let me see if I've got 1 or 2 in here. I've got 1. Only 1. TL 17. These are garnets. Beautiful garnet faceted tube shapes, I'm going to say. I don't know what you actually would call that shape. Faceted tube. Really pretty color. These are kind of that berry purpley garnet color. And these beads are approximately come on, about 2.5 by 6 millimeters. They're also, so they're 2.5 on one side, 4 on the other, and then 6 long. That's TAL 17. $16 for the strand. The strand is approximately, well, if I can get it here. This is a 14-inch strand. One strand left. TAL 17. All right, let's put TAL 12 back. This is the carved bone. One lot of those available. TAL 12. TAL 13 are the hematite coins. One lot of those available. $10. TL 14, the hematite multi-sized pack, only $10. These are amazing deals if you like hematite beads. So like I said, if you put these into strands, they would be very, very large strands, long strands, especially 14. Let's move 15 up. These are the blue chalcedony. And this is the blue chalcedony as well. Very good for Mercury retrograde. TL 17 has just sold. Thank you so much. Let me put that away. Appreciate that. The garnet has sold. Thank you, thank you. And let's see here. Let's do these TAL 18. Oops. Saturn is retrograde now, says Suzanne. Oh boy. What does that mean? I don't know much about Saturn being retrograde. TAL 18. Can I get my paper unstuck? Are these cute little vintage check butterflies. And you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them for $3. That's a really good deal. That should probably be like twice that amount. It should be $6 probably. Because that's like, let's see, what would a strand of those look like? Yeah, that's a good sized strand of check glass. For $3? Wow, I underpriced that. Oh well. $3 TAL 18. I think these look really pretty with these, right? On the board. Oh, you can't see that, can you? Move those down a little bit so everybody can see. If anybody wants any of those. And let's see here. These are large metal plated vintage plastic beads. I've got a whole lot of these. Let's see, I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19 of those. And let's see here. I'm going to do those for TAL 19. Let's just do it $16 for all of them. $16 for all of them. These nice chunky metal plated. I think these are gold, Hamilton gold, vintage plastic. And these are about 22.5, 23 millimeters by about 23 or 24 millimeters. And big, chunky, beautiful, light beads. These could easily be earrings. easily be earrings if you want them to be. They make some fun, funky earrings. We've just sold 18. Thank you so much. Those are the little check glass butterflies. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. I'm glad somebody liked those. I think they're super cute. Okay, 19. Oh! Move them all over here. Get all of them. Less than $1 a bead. They used to be $1 a bead, so you're getting a deal on those. TAL 20. What's 20? What are we going to do for 20? Halfway through. Oh, these are cool. I forgot we had them in this color. These are these eye beads in yellow. Super cool. These are larger than the ones we normally have. This will be $12 for the strand. Super funky and fun. These are about 14.5 millimeter rounds. And super fun glass eye beads. You get the whole strand. It is approximately, well, that one's hanging off the end there. I'm going to say about a 13.5 to 14 inch strand. TAL 20 is the yellow eye beads. And we also do have those in another color. I'm going to show you those next. TAL 21, $12 for the strand. These look black, but they are actually a very deep root beer brown. So beautiful. If you have like a kind of brown smoky quartz, I think that would look really good together. If you have andalusite, we had andalusite on the show the other day. That would be really cool together. But they're really deep root beer brown. If you had some amber, that would be really nice together. And this is TAL 21, $12. Oh, we sold TAL 20. Thank you so much. So 20 can go away. That one is sold. Thank you, thank you. And then TAL 21 are the deep brown eyes with blue. All right, I'm going to put some of this blue chalcedony away. These are the hand-carved lotus beads, the double drilled 2-hole hand-carved lotus beads. TAL 16, $76. Only one strand of those available. It's hard to find good priced hand-carved beads sometimes. So we were lucky when we came across those. And then I'm going to put 15 back. It's still available. This is this blue chalcedony with the matrix in these simple cut faceted simple cut shape faceted beads. That's only $30, down from $48. And then I'm going to move 19 over. We'll move 21 over. I'm wondering, just want to see, for those of you who grabbed these, I wanted to see, it's not quite the right blue. I think these would be fun with that though. I think those could be really fun with those. If you picked up any of these enamel pieces, these are by Andrew. He made these before he left. They're on our Facebook timeline to claim. This is one of the designs that is still available. As far as I know, I didn't check earlier today, but I think those could go really well with that. Right? Am I right? Am I wrong? What do you think? What do you all think? Would you put those together? I would play around with those together, I think. Let's see here. TAL22, $8 each. Let me see how many strands I have of these. 9 strands of these available. These are these beautiful freshwater tiny pearls. Whoa, they're getting caught, sorry. Let me try and show you one strand. These tiny freshwater pearls, vintage, in this kind of metallic blue color. $8 a strand only, vintage freshwater pearls. We've had these in different colors. We had a buttercream color in these. I forget what the other color was that we had before. And now we've got these in this metallic kind of blue. Let me put them together so you can see. Isn't that fun? And these are approximately 2.6 millimeters by about 5 millimeters. And so we have, oh, let me give you the length of the strand too. Let's see here, the length is, that's a 16-inch strand. 16-inch strand of the metallic blue freshwater vintage pearls. And then TAL23, $8. And I've got a bunch of these. Hold on. One of them got caught up. Hopefully that doesn't let the whole thing fall. No, okay, good. And then we've got them in this color, in this hot pink color. And you can see I've got a whole like hank of them here. So they're $8 each for those. That bubblegum, kind of peachy pink. Bubblegum. Or cotton candy. More like cotton candy, right? Cotton candy pink, 3 millimeters again. $8 per strand. TAL23. We've sold 2 of the 22s. Thank you so much. Let me check my junk folder just to make sure nobody's going there. Maybe we've got trained okay. All right. What's going on? I need a drink. One moment, everybody. How are y'all doing? How's it going? I feel like I've not drank enough today. Stay hydrated out there. We were at the ball game last night, and it was so hot under that sun. Thankfully, I put on a lot of sunscreen, and my mom brought extra sunscreen, so I had to reapply too at times. Finally, the sun went down, which was nice. It got nice and cool out once the sun went down. Well, it felt cool. I don't know that it was actually cool, but it felt cooler. Anything feels cool after the kind of heat we've been having. All right, let's see here. TAL, where am I at? 24. Any of y'all have any plans this week? Doing anything interesting at all this weekend? Not weekend, this week. We're not at the weekend yet. Let's not talk about the weekend too early, right? Let's see. What else do I have in here? Oh, this is nice. I don't know where this came from. This is so pretty. I'm going to do this for, this is red glass. So I'm going to do a little bit more than, I think we had a button for $8 yesterday. I'm going to do this for 10 because this is vintage and it's red, so it probably has gold in it. They're a little bit more expensive. This is a red, beautiful dragonfly with a golden dragonfly, check glass button, large button, only $10. It's about 31 millimeters. Metal inset, stunningly beautiful red check glass vintage button. Look at that dragonfly. I'm amazed at, this is a vintage button, and I'm amazed at how well the quality has been retained on that. It is super beautiful. $10, TAL 24. I know some of y'all like dragonflies. When I found that, I said, oh, somebody's going to love that. Somebody's going to want it. And we'll do this one. Let's give you a deal. Let's do this one at $6. Found this with that button too. TAL 25 is this blue button with the gold flowers. Beautiful blue check glass vintage button. $6, TAL 26. And this one is a smaller one at about 22.5 millimeters. TAL 25. Did I say 26? TAL 25, $6. Oh, some days I don't know if sometimes I don't know what I'm saying. TAL 25, $6. I'm like, did I just say 26? I don't know. Oh, we just sold 21. Thank you so much. Let me move that off of the table. I was just about to move it. Thank you, thank you. That makes it easier. Clears up some space for me. 22 are these little pearls. 23 are these little pearls. 24 is this red check glass button. 25 is this blue, smaller check glass button, both with gold detail. 26 is this reproduction coin pendant, and that's $10. Bronze pendant, reproduction coin, $10. And we've got another one like that, TAL 27. There's another reproduction coin bronze pendant. There's that one. TAL 26 and TAL 27. This one is approximately 22.5 by 29.5. And this one is 19 by 24.5. You just sold 24. Thank you so much. That's the button, the red button. Thank you, thank you. So I'm going 25 up here, 26 down here, 27 up here. Ooh. Who likes citrine drops? Little drops of sunny gorgeousness. Let me see. Let me see what I got here. Oh, these are nice. This is like a semi-shorty strand. Let me just see here. It's like a 10-inch strand. TAL 28. It was 26. Let's bring it down to 22. 22 for y'all. Gorgeous citrine drops. $22 for this strand. It is approximately a 10-inch strand. A little bit over 10 inch, but just about a 10-inch strand. Of these beautiful natural citrine drops. Look at how nice. That's a really good price. As I look at these under the light, I'm like, that's actually a really good price, because each of these drops we could probably sell for like $4 or $5 a drop. So, and if this doesn't sell, I probably will take this apart and sell them by the drop at some point, or just use them. This is really pretty. Sometimes I amaze myself. These are 9 millimeter approximately by about 6. 9 by 6 millimeter. Beautiful, beautiful, juicy natural citrine. Faceted drops. TAL 28. All right, let's put 23 away. Last chance at the bubblegum or cotton candy colored rice pearls. Little wonky rice pearls. I like these a lot. I am a fan of those pearls. And then these are the metallic blue pearls. $8 a strand, TAL 22. Okay, let's move these up. 25, 26. Oops, you can't see that. 27, 28 for the citrine. Oh, 28 just sold. I can put that away. Thank you so much. I had a feeling that was going to go to somebody, because that is too nice to pass up at that price. Somebody knows that's a good deal out there, right? And has use for it. I know all of you think they're good deals, right? You just don't always have use for things. But if they're a good deal and you have use for it, that's a grab it now kind of thing, right? All right. I'm trying to see what these are. I believe these are a diamond-coated carnelian. I'm going to price them really nice for y'all, $12, because I'm not 100% sure. But I think They are a diamond coated carnelian, because carnelian does not sparkle like that. So it's like a platinum coated or diamond coated carnelian, they usually call it. And it's a microfaceted. But look at how pretty they are. I thought at first maybe cubic zirconia, but they would be the same size if they were a manufactured bead like that. So I think they're original natural carnelian, but then it's been coated with like that platinum coating, they often call it. These are 2.5 millimeters. Super pretty. Sandra says that carnelian is sparkly, right? That's why I know it's not just plain carnelian, because that's not going to sparkle like that. I mean, maybe, but I think it's coated. I think it has some kind of coating on it. Teeny weeny, they are. For those of you who like the little beads, only one strand of these. Only got the one. TAL 29. You want to add a little bit of bling in between? There's where you get it. And that has sold. Thank you so much. I had a feeling that would go, because that is a, I thought it was a good price. Oh, and by the way, for that person who got it, this is probably, yeah, about a 14-inch strand. These small ones are usually 14 inches. Donna says, hi, all, just jumping on. Hello, Donna. Thank you for joining us. Glad you could stop by today. We did it a little bit early again today. I don't know why. I'm looking out and I'm like, I feel like it's so late today, because normally by the time we're doing this live at this hour, it's already like 9 o'clock. And it's not. It's just 5. How about that? It's kind of nice. TAL 30. We're on TAL 30. We're going to go to 40 today. Let me see what I've got. Got lots of pretty things for you all today. I pulled some of these. These are beautiful amethyst, and they are $3 each, and I've got 4 of them. I'm selling them individually for those of you who might want to just grab a few. But they're really high quality amethyst beads. Really nice color. And there are 4 of them here available. And they are, I'll do this one. This is kind of the middle size, 14 by 20. TAL 30. How are you doing today, Donna? Getting up to anything? TAL 31 is this pendant. The bell's at the top. Has some crosses in there. And this is approximately about 2 1/8 inches by about 3/8 of an inch. $4. I don't know what it is. I don't know what that says. I'm trying to read that, but I cannot. Anyway, one of those. TAL 31. Super cool, I think. I like that kind of thing. That's a pendant I would definitely use. TAL in like a talisman necklace or something. I think it's cool. TAL 32. These are some religious medals and things. And let me move that away. This lot is $12. Oh, we've just sold 31. Thank you so much. TAL 32 is this pin. This is a pin. I don't know what that says. Can anybody read it? I can't read it. But you've got a pin there. This is another pin. Attendance. And then this. I don't know what that is. What is that? What does that go over? Put that over a, I don't know, what would you put that over? Over a pocket? Clip it onto a pocket? I don't know. There's that. So that's TAL 32. 3 of those, $12 for the lot. And that has just sold. Thank you so much. Donna's vacation day, taking it easy. Nice. I haven't been to, Donna says maybe a page marker. I was thinking that too. It's just really thick, I feel like, but I guess you could clip it over multiple pages or the cover. That would make sense, right? Where's my, let's do this. I was thinking about going to do a little hike in the local natural park here that we have. And I don't know. I don't know if I'll get down there or not. It depends what all I can get through today. But I haven't done that in a while. And sometimes nature just calls to me. And lately it's been calling. Sandra says I was thinking a collar. Maybe a little collar piece? A little collar clip? That would make sense too, right? Let's see here. This one was 12. I'm going to bring it down to 10. It has more in it, but I'll show you why. Suzanne says, now the cats are in a staring match. Ours do that sometimes too, right? It doesn't usually last long before they pounce on each other. So this one has this included in it. This one obviously looks like it had something riveted to it at some point, but it is no longer there. So you're just getting the cross on that. And then you get this little statue. And then you're getting this little vintage plastic cross, which is kind of really cool. And then you get this pendant, which says, I am a Lutheran on the back. So that's TAL 33, if anybody's interested in that. It was 12, but because this, I feel like this has, it was done in Italy, but I feel like this, it's part of something, I feel like. So I'm going to just drop it down to 10. If anybody's interested, that's kind of just a bonus in there. I think it was a bonus anyway because the other one only had 3, but these are less intricate, so I'm dropping it down to 10. TAL 33. And that one has sold. Let me put that away. Thank you so much. Yeah, our cats, if they get into a staring match, it doesn't last long because usually somebody's going to pounce on somebody else pretty quick. All right, recap here. 25 is this blue check glass. I like how it's blue. It's metallicized on the back so that it flashes. Nice, pretty blue. It's got this kind of bumpily glass on it to give it that kind of frosted look, and then it's got the gold flowers, which is really pretty. And then we have this bronze coin, reproduction coin pendant, TAL 26. We have TAL 27, which is this one. And then we have TAL 30. Marianne says, from where the spots are on that cross, probably a crucifix. That's what I was thinking too. Suzanne says, message me after that small statue goes for big money. Really? That little one in there? That one? Okay. I'll message you. Thank you for letting me know. I was just going off the prices we had before. I guess that's news to me. I appreciate that. All right. See, we got good people. Y'all are good people. Let's see here. Where am I at? 34. TAL 34. And let's see here. Let me see how long this is. Ooh, this is really nice. Let's bring this down to 26. TAL 34 was 32, now 26. This is a dyed chalcedony. It's really nice quality stones. Like these are juicy. Juicy, juicy. Check that out. This is about a 9.5-inch strand. And these are 10 millimeters by about 13.5. Beautiful. Dyed chalcedony. Oh, those are so juicy. They're like a blue-green, the way that they glow. They've got that chalcedony inner glow. So pretty. So pretty. Oh, we've sold one of the 6s. That's the quartz drops. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. TAL 34. $26, down from 32. TAL 35. This is a vintage strand too. Vintage, vintage. We have these hand-carved, the crying Buddhas, hand-carved wood Buddhas. These are $4 each. And I have a number of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. About 12 of them. Let's say 12. And I'll show you another one just so you can see. They do vary in size if you want a larger or a smaller. We just average the price all out. Nice and light, hand-carved light wood, very light wood. They're not heavy at all. Hand-carved weeping Buddhas. All right, TAL 36. These were 10. I'm going to drop them down to 6. Suzanne says the crying Buddha is great, very lightweight yet substantial. Yeah, it takes up some space, right? But it's nice and light. It's not going to hurt your neck. Thank you. I know you have at least one of them, if not a few of them. All right, next up, this is a pair of lampwork glass beads. These are, I thought, really nice. They're really nice, pretty color blue with those purple and green flowers. Just a nice pair of beads. For those of you who like lamp work, only $6, so it works out to $3 a bead. Really good deal, I think. 20 millimeters by about 11. Suzanne says, I give them as presents. The Buddhas, yeah, they're nice, right? Make a great gift. Only $4. Good idea. Good idea. All right, let's put some stuff away. Almost done, but almost out of room too. So we'll put the check glass button back. It has not sold yet. The other one did. The little one did not. I'm surprised. Usually it's the opposite. Usually the smaller buttons sell, not the larger ones. I'm going to put the amethyst back. Those are still available. $3 each per stone. 4 stones available. Really high quality stones on those. And let's see here. Oops, that bag is broken. Let's just throw that bag away. 26 is this bronze reproduction coin pendant. And let's see here, another bag. 27 is that one. Okay, let's see here. Okay, here we go. All right, TAL 34, TAL 35, TAL 36, TAL 37. What else do I have in my bag of goodies? Any of y'all like phenolic resin? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. These are $8 each. These beads are old phenolic resin African beads. They call them African amber sometimes. They are a resin, but they're an old vintage or antique resin bead. These can vary wildly in price. So I'm going to leave these at the price that we had determined them last time, $8 each, because we've seen these upwards of like $40 or $50 a bead sometimes. Some people might sell them for a little bit less depending on the quality of them. These are a really nice quality. This particular size is 18.5 by 18 millimeters. How is it wider that way? That doesn't, 18.5 by 18, I guess so. That's strange. It doesn't look like that. And I also have these in various sizes and shapes. TAL 38. These are a little bit more expensive, a little bit more rare. And I have, I think there's about 18 of these. TAL 38 are these ones. These are super cool. Phenolic resin. These are about 16 by 27.5 millimeters. And these are a little bit rounded. And then I have one really big one, TAL 39, which is $10, which I think is a really good price. TAL 39 is the big one. And these are from Andrew's collection. So phenolic resin, also called African amber. They are resin bead, but they are special. They are pretty collectible. Like I said, sometimes people charge upwards of like $40, $50 a bead for them. So we're not going to do that to you. But they're still a little bit on the pricier side. And let's do these last. These are kind of cool. These are I believe these are a synthetic. Let me look. Yeah, they've got air bubbles. So these are a synthetic glass, but or synthetic bead, but they're like a synthetic phantom quartz or just pineapple quartz, and they're just really pretty. So I'm going to do them. Let's see, where am I? Where's my pen? There it is. And let's see here. We had them at 14. TAL 40. We had them at 14. I'm going to drop them down to 10. $10 for that. And again, they look like this. They have a little hint of yellow through them. I don't know if you're seeing it or not. Hopefully you are on camera. They're faceted. They're a little bit opalescent. They have a little bit of like opalite quality in them. They're about 18 millimeters by 24.5. 18 by 24.5. Whoa. And yeah, it's like they started with a little bit of opalescent glass, added some of that pineapple yellow color to it, and made it like a pineapple quartz, almost an opalescent pineapple quartz, just slightly. They're really pretty. TAL 40. I'm going to put them down here. TAL 40. There we go. Running out of room. All right, y'all. And that is my show for today. Thank you all who grabbed some stuff. I really do appreciate it. It helps me keep things going here by myself while Andrew's away, which is not always easy because a lot of times he is the comer upper of ideas. So it always helps me whenever you support our shows while I'm here by myself, and I really do appreciate it. I may add some things to the D-Stash group later today. I think I'm going to try and take some pictures of some stuff a little bit tonight and add some things to that. So if you've grabbed something in that D-Stash, we're going to add some more to it, I think, later tonight. And so be sure to check that out. And yeah, that's it. Thank you all so much. I hope you have an amazing afternoon and the rest of your evening and the rest of your day. And thank you for hanging out here early with me. I do appreciate it. I know it's a different time and it's not as easy for some of you, but I do appreciate you all hanging out and being here. Thank you for your support. Thank you so much for your friendship. You know, we really feel blessed to have all of you in our lives. And I hope you enjoy these shows. Thank you so much, everybody, and we'll see you later. I really like all these colors out here right now, by the way, too. They look really pretty together. Anyway, bye, everybody.